Hey there, Chris Parry from EQUITY.GURU with a 3-minute hit on Medexus Pharmaceuticals. MDP is the ticker symbol, and look, long story short, we love Medexus. We have been saying so for a long time. Medexus, for those that don't know, is a company with a series of different medicines that they have licenses for to distribute in North America, and they do good business. $28 million is the expectation for the upcoming quarter, which if you extrapolate it along a year means around $110 million. We're talking US dollars on that front. Why is that interesting? Because the market cap is 41 million Canadian, so you're looking at about, 35, 33 US. So to be trading at essentially 3 times annual revenue, sorry, 1/3 of annual revenue, my bad, to me, makes this a really, really attractive opportunity that should be re-rated by the market going forward, and indeed has been. Look, it has one medication, treosulfan, that's been going through an FDA approval process. The expectation is that it will be approved. The problem is that anything FDA, if you don't dot an I, cross a T, you go back to the back of the queue. It takes another 3 months, another 6 months, another year. Even if you've got an existing product and you just want to change the packaging, you've got to go to the FDA and get it all approved. It's not a quick process. So even though treosulfan in other places of the world has been approved and is much better than the existing medication that competes with it, it's going to be about a year before treosulfan gets any love. So put treosulfan out of your brain. It doesn't exist. It's not a thing. Yes, it's owned by the company. Yes, the company has this thing coming, but don't even think about it, because what's reality here is you've got a company that makes $110 million US a year in revenues, is really close to break even, and has more medications coming online that should get it there, and a stock price that, if you bought it back in February of 2022, you're underwater. But if you bought it in September of last year at 90 cents after it got its FDA hiccups, you're enjoying the $2.10 that you can get it for this morning, I tell you what. And even at that $2.10, to be trading at 1/3 of your annual revenue is nuts. It's nuts. If Tesla was doing that, Tesla would be a $50 million company. This is ridiculous. So for me, Medexus is a definitely interesting company. Not a biotech company, a medtech company, a medicine company. They are doing sales today. Now, all of the items, all of the SKUs that they are selling are, one of them is freshly into the market and just starting to generate. The others have been there for a while and are streamlining. This is a company that the risk is really limited. And a lot of people thought that initial FDA, please can we have some more information period, was a rejection. It was not. It's a we need more information. So the stock halved, and then they gave more information, and the FDA came back and said, not quite there yet, we want more. Stock halved again. Now we're in that place where people who are worried about treosulfan are pretty much out of the stock. And people getting into the stock are like, wait a second, it's a $35 million company US doing $110 million US revenues a year? Is it losing a shit ton of money or something? How can it be that cheap? It's not. It's not losing a shit ton of money. It's that cheap because of the stigma of those 2 rounds of FDA approvals that didn't go to plan. They weren't rejections, it's important to note. They weren't the FDA saying, we are not interested in approving this. They were the FDA saying, good, but we need more information about this thing here. And the company having to go back, get that more information. Now, the most recent guidance is that it might take a year for the company that's partnered with Medexus to get that process finalized. Well, so treosulfan, let's just take it out of the equation altogether. Without any treosulfan money coming in or going out, because it's not costing anything to continue this process, you're looking at a company that's making a lot more money than it actually costs to buy. Somebody is going to make a bid on these guys. Somebody is going to look at what they've got, look what's coming, and say, that looks like an interesting thing to take under our wing. Now, it would be a shame to me, because I honestly think this crowd, this CEO, and these medications, I think they're going to just ramp and ramp and ramp over the next couple of years. The runs are on the board. The products are out. You can go buy them in pharmacies right now. Your doctor can prescribe them right now. The only one that can't is treosulfan, but that's coming. So for me, if you haven't looked at Medexus, take a look at it. it's just a no-brainer to me. Sometimes the market is dumb, right? The market hears something negative and goes hog wild and sells out, and nobody comes back to see if their decision initially was a right one or a wrong one. So people that dumped this stock and moved on to other things have not even looked back to see if they made the right decision or not. They clearly did not. But over time, more and more people are finding out about this stock, buying the stock, and the stock is going up. So for mine, this is the place where if you're not in on it right now, you might not get a chance to get in under $2 at any point in the future. For mine, my decision here is I'm holding this thing till I go blue in the face, because I honestly believe over the next 6 months, 12 months, it's just going to appreciate. They're going to go out and do more business. They're going to increase that revenue. They're going to reduce their expenses. And this thing at some point has to be re-rated by a smart market. And when it does, for me, it's a triple. For me, it's a $100 million company. It's at least worth what the revenues are on an annual basis, right? It's medications. It's not electric cars. It's not something that's a luxury purchase. It's not something you purchase once. If you need the medications, you buy the medications. And if your insurance company needs to get them for you, the insurance company gets them for you. So this is a stable business that for me, every quarter I'm watching the revenue rise, the expenses drop, and these guys get better and better at what they do. Medexus Pharmaceutical is the company. MDP is the ticker symbol. And if you like what you hear, man, subscribe to the channel. Be a subscriber. Pretty girls will like you, and you'll win lottery tickets. Probably not, but it's worth it.